So I don't need to start recording or to broadcast anything. Yeah.
No, everything will be okay. Let me
Okay.
just finish the test
Yeah,
now.
sure. Okay. Came back to me.
Oh, working. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. See you later. Okay, it's time for us to start. Hi, Liz.
Hello, everyone.
Good to
Hi,
see
Liz.
you. Okay. Let's just start with a quick prayer. Just to get together in thoughts and hearts and ask for the assistance of the benefactors, inspiring us, helping us to understand the topic of today, the importance of it, and help us to apply in our daily lives. So, connected to them, we ask then permission to start our study of today. So be it.
It's okay. Amen.
Okay, good morning again, or good afternoon, or good evening to you all. Let's start our study of today. Very exciting topic, causes of obsession. We started a couple of weeks ago, and then we'll carry on our study. Let me just share my screen with you all. Here we are. Can you all see the book?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. I brought down the title again. It's not the original place for it, but I brought down just for us to remember we are studying the causes of obsession. And we stop here. So let's move on. A general rule applies. Those who receive evil written or verbal spirit communications are under an evil influence. And this influence imposes itself on them, whether they write or not. That is, regardless of whether they are mediums or believers. I'll stop here because someone asked me a few weeks ago about, mediumship and obsession. And the question was more or less along those lines. If someone who is not clearly a medium can be obsessed by spirits? And the answer is yeah. Yes, I think further down here, they'll tell us that, when we are mediums, we are aware of this situation. But the problem is when we are not mediums, we suffer the influence indirectly, we suffer the influence of the spirit, and we don't have the means of being aware of that influence. Unless, of course, we have mediums around us who, with whom we share the situation, and then they find out that there are spirits trying to harm us. And the other thing that is important here is, yes, if we are the channel of evil written or verbal messages, we are under the influence of evil spirits. The same way that when we get in touch and receive or are in contact with people who are evil, we are under evil influence. It doesn't mean we are attached to them, but we are under influence. So we should distinguish that, because it gives us the impression as medium, I, receive an evil spirit, give evil communication. Am I obsessed? No, you're not obsessed in principle, but of course are under the influence of that spirit. And then we'll see how important it is for the medium to work along certain lines that will prevent that initial influence from becoming, simple obsession, or a more serious case of obsession. So we shouldn't forget we are always under the influence of spirits, and when this influence is not positive, yeah, we are under the influence of negative or evil or inferior spirits. But as I said before, it doesn't mean that that is going to be a problem per se. If we don't have the means to deal with that, yes, it may become a problem. But what we're doing here is to study and see what can be done. And as Kardec puts in several, occasions, and in the book Genesis, we find many times it is a question of moral situation or moral condition of the medium. And this has to be worked. That's why we insist so much that the moral state of the medium, and not the moral in appearance, but the inner state of the medium in moral terms, the moral authority, is very important. So even if we are subject of obsession, we have to work hard to develop ourselves morally. Then we can start to reverse this process, or to prevent it from actually happening. Not so much the influence, because even Jesus receives or was approached by inferior spirits, but he knew how to handle that. And we need to work on our moral side to be able to actually prevent that from happening to us. Okay? Writing. And here they are talking specially about written communications or writing mediums. Writing offers them a way to be certain as to the nature of the spirits who act upon them, and a way to combat them in if they are evil, which is more successfully accomplished when they understand the motives behind their writing. If the blindness is such that it does not allow them to understand, others will be able to open their eyes. So what he's saying is that the importance of having people who we trust around us to give us support, because sometimes we don't realize that the messages we are receiving are messages from spirits who are trying to deceive us. And we see for so many reasons, and perhaps sometimes we don't even have a direct connection with that spirit, because we usually say, oh, I'm under the influence of this evil spirit because we have a connection from, this life or past lives or whatever. But we will see that no, some evil spirits, they want to do evil. And if they find someone who is weak, they will use that person because they want to amuse themselves. They want to, enjoy that situation. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we have a pre-established connection with that particular spirit. It's just that we put ourselves in a condition to be under their attack, because they will see us as frail in terms of mediumship or moral status or whatever. So it's not just a situation that has been established in the past. And the other thing is the importance of having people around us, working in group, and also listening to people, to be humble. Because what we're going to see is that when obsession develops and turns perhaps even into subjugation, the person is deaf, is blind to what other people have to say about that communication or that spirit. So important to exercise humility, important to exercise the listening to what other people have to say. Even the enemies, they always have to say something that can be used by us to look at ourselves and perhaps, start changing a few things in us. They say, the friends, they are always trying to be nice to us, but the enemies, they don't have that barrier. They tell us exactly what they see and who we are. So we should take advantage of that and not just reject their opinion. So all that just to say that is important since the beginning, when we start exercising the faculty. It is very important to accept comments of other people. If the comments are not, don't make much sense, they will go and the situation will show that, those comments weren't the appropriate for that particular situation. But if they are, they can perhaps save us from, a situation that then is very difficult to reverse. To summarize, the danger is not in spiritism, since, on the contrary, we can use it to control and save ourselves from the constant risk to which we expose ourselves without realizing it. The danger is instead in the propensity of certain proud mediums who lightheartedly regard themselves as exclusive instruments of highly evolved spirits, and in the kind of fascination that does not allow them to comprehend the idiocies they interpret. Again, proud mediums. So we see that many times. So the importance of exercising healthy, sound, moral virtues when we are developing our mediumship. So it's not just a question of the faculty. That's why we insist so much. It's not just the development of a faculty per se, but also the moral conditions of the medium. That is very important. Okay. Can we move forward then? However, even those who are not mediums may fall into the same trap. Something that, a question I answered a few weeks back, and Kardec highlights here that we don't need to be a medium to be under the influence of spirits, good spirits and evil spirits, and even be the case of obsession, because they can use those around us to affect us indirectly, not necessarily direct. Of course, we won't have the channel, our mediumistic channel, to engage into communication with them, to feel their influence. But of course, the situations in our daily life may show that, we are under a certain type of influence. And we shouldn't forget, mediums are not, we are always surrounded by spirits, good spirits, evil spirits. It's like walking in a city center. You go to, Oxford Street in London, for instance, you're surrounded by all sorts of people. Perhaps they are invisible to us. You know there are people there, but you don't know their intention. You don't know what they're doing. You don't notice them. They don't notice you. But depending on what we do, we call the attention of some people. And this is the thing. Some people may approach us and say, oh, the crook or someone. Oh, this is an easy prey. I'll, tell this guy I'm in this situation, and perhaps I may be able to get some money from him, or even, take him to that place, and then whatever, whatever the situation. So, and with mediumship is the same. We are surrounded by spirits. Sometimes we don't notice because we don't have the faculty clearly open, but they are there. And if they don't like us, it's not because we are not clearly, don't have a clear channel, mediumistic channel to establish a communication with them, that they won't try to harm us in other ways. But that is also the case of good spirits. It's not because we are not directly in contact with good spirits that they are not close to us. If our intentions are good, if our efforts are towards, it's not who we are. The important thing to good spirits is the effort we are making to become better. Because they know who we are. They can see who we are, the level that we are. They know our history, they know where we've been. And what they expect from us is, some effort to become better, to improve. And they will be seconding us, supporting us in that effort. And when they do that, other less superior or inferior spirits, we stay away. They might tempt us as part of our process of learning, but that will be under the supervision of good spirits who won't allow us to be too affected by them, to the point of undoing the work we are trying to do in improving ourselves. However, even those, okay. Let us make a comparison. A certain man here, a certain man has a secret enemy of whom he's unaware. And who? unbeknownst to him, spreads slander and everything of the vilest nature that he can engender. The man loses his fortune, his friends avoid him, and his inner happiness is completely upset. Since he cannot discover the hand that is injuring him, he cannot defend himself and ends up defeated. However, one day the secret enemy writes to him and betrays his identity in spite of his cunning. Having found out who his enemy is, the man can now expose him and recover his reputation. Such is the role of evil spirits, whom Spiritism provides us with the possibility of discovering and outsmarting. What Kardec is trying to say is that with Spiritism, we get to understand the situation which before, and we know that obsession has been with humanity since, man is man, and so is a situation that is common to human beings. Spiritism is now providing us a way, it's like a microscope. We can say that microscopes create bacteria. Oh, but now we can see that, there are bacteria everywhere, and is that because of the microscope? No, it's because now we can check and see where they are. Oh, but before I used to, type on my keyboard and I never wash my hands, and now I have to do all that. Is that because of the microscope? No, it's because now the microscope shows us what is where, and then the care we should take. It's the same with Spiritism. It hasn't created obsessing spirits, evil spirits, or whatever. It's just showing us the reality. And more than that, nowadays, because Kardec is describing according to the situation in those days, but nowadays we have a different situation because we have well-established spiritist groups in charge of giving assistance to those who are being obsessed by evil spirits, those who bring from past incarnations difficult situations that perhaps now they have a condition to sort them out, definitely. And we shouldn't forget that evil spirits won't be evil forever. There will be a turning point, a moment when they will, start to change. And maybe that is the moment. Now is the moment. And the importance of mediumship. Mediumship is important because we have the opportunity to prepare ourselves to be the instruments to work on these cases of obsession, subjugation, treating spirits, the one who is obsessed and the one who is obsessing. If a spirit finds in me someone who, can easily be prey of them and the instrument of their evil, there is a reason. I need to evolve to come out of this situation. And also the spirit who wants to do evil to other people and enjoys himself in doing that. So mediumship is not just something that happens by chance. Oh, my biology allows me to have this gland that allows my spirit to get into contact with the spiritual world, and there's much more than that. This is a beautiful opportunity for us to improve ourselves, an invitation for us to develop morally.
Understand if you're, hearing or not. Did you have breakfast? Do you want some eggs and toast?
Right there you go.
Then go over there,
Sorry.
please.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. So, okay, no questions? Everything clear? Nothing clear?
So
Everything's
Munir,
free.
Well, yeah.
it's
Go on,
all
Denise.
about really to protect about it. It's just praying and keep the good thoughts.
It is important, but it's not the only,
And study. Okay.
because you see, let's take one particular case. It doesn't mean that every case is like that. But I have an enemy from the past. I have caused tremendous harm to that spirit and many others. I can just sort it out by praying. But
Okay,
the thing
yeah.
is, I'll call to my condition and my situation the assistance of good spirit, who will help me in the intention and the effort to become better. It won't take away what I have to go through,
Mhm.
but will help me to go through. It's the same in life. Oh God, take away every difficulty in my life. No, we are here to have difficulties, to overcome them. It's like going to school and not waiting to learn anything new. Oh, because it's a challenge. It's new. I don't know. I have to make the effort to learn, to go, to study a whole chapter and make, and do all the exercise and go to the laboratory and submit myself to that, dangerous place. I can, do something wrong. And so, no, we are here actually to make the most of every situation. And sometimes these situations are the necessary ones for us to, come out of. So it's not that, oh, I pray and then that's it. I'll block all those. No, I have situations that I need to face and to sort out. But the effort I make, the prayers I make, may not take that away. Will help me to find a solution for that. As I said before, perhaps that situation will go to a spiritist group, and the spiritist group will start working with me and the spirit. And perhaps that is the moment that both of us will start to really change. And,
Okay.
and a situation that has been going on for a long time. So Kardec points out prayer is fundamental. But it's like in life. God, I'm facing financial difficulties. I can't find a way to get out of this situation. So if you pray to God, next day someone will deliver a pack of, a box of money to you. No. The assistance will be, well, this is a learning process. It is a lesson. Let's make the most of it. Now you have many good tutors around you, to support you through this situation. It will end as soon as you learn what you're supposed to learn, acquire what you're supposed to acquire with this situation. This is life. This is what we are here for. And obsession is part of the package, Perhaps, most of us won't have to go through that, but some of us will. An influence, an interference, or perhaps even, in the worst scenario, a case of subjugation. But if it happens, despite the prayers and everything else, that's because we need to face it and sort it out.
Moni,
Yes, hi, Liz.
hi.
Sorry, I had to close your microphone. I thought you didn't realize that it was open.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes,
Right.
sorry.
So I just wanted to kind of, highlight one thing, because you put so well, these situations come to teach us. And I think throughout life, we are going to have so many situations that is going to actually push us to look at ourselves and who we are with, our qualities and the things that we have to work upon. And yes, prayer is not the only thing that we can do. It is a lovely, is something that is amazing for us to understand and have the practice of prayer in our lives, but also the practice of self-reflection, of self-discovery, and looking at ourselves, and together with that, practice of forgiveness. Because in a situation like that, if we have an obsessor on, close to us from a previous life or not, we should exercise that forgiveness of any offense, of anything, any harm that someone would like to cause us. So in general, these things are so fundamental for us to continuously practicing. And when we see that, we are also going to see the other person as a human being, also like us, that are trying hard to go through life in whatever stage you are, whether incarnated or near errant state. So I just wanted to point these things out.
Yeah. We can, there are some interesting exercises. I used to make them, take someone you love so much in this incarnation now, and imagine that person was your enemy, or you harmed that person in the past. What would you feel? The same you felt in the past, or you would basically, give your life in order to avoid suffering for that person. So we see that enemy of today may become a brother, a sister, a father, a mother, a son, a daughter in the future. Someone you can really love. You may start, the wrong way with that person, but nothing cannot be mended if we truly develop virtues. So the enemies of today may be, good friends, someone very dear to us in the future. As we've seen, as it happened, for instance, with Divaldo Franco, that spirit who obsessed him for 40 years. It was a kind of a simple obsession, because the spirit would come every now and then to scare him, to, say that he was persecuting him and so on. But, it ended there. It didn't develop into something more serious. And then after 40 years, when Divaldo took into his institution that newborn baby, baby girl that had been the spirit's mother in the previous incarnation, the spirit changed it completely and became a friend. He said, I'm going to help you now in your institution, in your mediumship, and so on. So it changed it completely. In just an act of love, selfless love, just take a child. Divaldo didn't know who that child was. She was in a dustbin, covered by ants. And then he went there. Someone told him, oh, someone dropped, this newborn baby here in the dustbin outside. Just, he went there and took this child, and the spirit got touched by that. In one moment, then Divaldo did something. It was so nice, so morally developed, and the spirit just changed it completely. He realized he had no reasons to hate Divaldo anymore. That they could be working together towards a good or a better situation. And Denise.
Yeah, I don't remember where I read it, or may even have heard here. I don't remember. There was this mom that her son was obsessed, and for months and months she prayed for her son and for the obsessor. And in the end, I think the obsessor told her, I stopped obsessing your son because of you, because you pray so much for me that makes me feel good. So I still don't like him, but I stopped it because of you. That it just came to my mind. So your actions, as you were saying, can help you as well. Yeah.
Yes, you see that this, when we say moral changes, is actually to acquire virtues, to acquire the virtues that we have Jesus in a Christian society as the role model. Check the virtues of Jesus, and try to observe some of them. We won't be able to observe all of them in one go. It'll take us yet some time to do that, but we have to start. So those virtues, and there are so many situations, Denise, when just you showing love towards the spirit or the other person changes the situation. I remember, I think I told this once before here in the past, this dialoguer was dialoguing with the spirit, a serious case of obsession. And they were actually arguing in the end, nearly went into fighting. The dialoguer knew a lot, but he had a sort of cold heart. And so when they realized that he wasn't getting anywhere, just upsetting the spirit, and the spirit was very adamant he wouldn't go away. Or then this medium that was there, an old lady, granny-like old ladies that everyone welcomed, very sweet. She just started talking to the spirit in a very sweet way, as if she was his grandmother. Oh, come here, my dear, come here. And then in the end, he said, no, I'll go. I'll go because of her, because I haven't treated like that for so long. And because of that, I will, because we are all human beings in the end. And we can be touched by true love, but it has to be true love. It has to be true moral virtues. It's not just, painting our outside, in beautiful colors, but the inside is, Jesus said, about the tombs, white on the outside, but, filthy, rotten on the inside. So to practice virtues is actually to take away, we bring too many things inside, just live with a light heart, make everything simple. And then we'll be able to build on top of that, in moral terms, to be able to assist brothers and sisters in need, and the joy of seeing them in a better condition, both the obsessed and the obsessor, in a better condition in the future. And as we've mentioned many times, we have the impression, we are always under the impression that the spirit who's obsessing is the evil one, and the one who's obsessed is the good, innocent, poor, lamb, the victim of the wolf. And no, it's not like that. We don't know what happened in the past, or we don't know what led to that situation. As I mentioned earlier today, they may not even know themselves, the spirit and the obsessed one. But if they put themselves in those situations, that's because their spiritual level is like that. So, and it has to change. They shouldn't stay like that permanently. So when talking about obsession here, is basically talking about human beings, because we'll see some similarity between what happens to the obsessed and the obsessor, and what happens with our relationship in the world. Sometimes out of nothing, a neighbor just starts hating us. Why is he hating us or she hating us? Or in a group, even sometimes in the Spiritist center, some people, we see they don't like us. Why? What have I done to that person? It's the same with the spirits. It's just, in some cases you have a physical body, in some other cases you exchange with, those with no body. Sometimes you have the means, as it's been said here, the faculty to perceive what's going on. Sometimes we don't, but it doesn't prevent the situation from, from coming about. Okay. Oh, hi, Elsali. Sorry. Just realized you had your hand raised.
Hi, everybody. I think when you talked now, Munir, I think for missionary, missionary of light, Sigismundo reincarnation again, but I had an enemy, difficulty in here in the world. When I was incarnate, Adelino, today heter Adelino, namnet enemy. And Adelino will be father, and Rachel, mother, till Sigismund will reincarnate again in the earth. Wonderful. I think when this book is a special Missionary of Lights, and they explain it just literally all you say now is that just now, Munir. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we see these situations, and sometimes reincarnation comes to, to diffuse a situation, and every now and then we see some cases that, spirit reincarnates in a different position to be actually to undo what has been done, negatively speaking, in the past. Thanks, Jocelyn. Okay, let's move on then. The motives behind obsession vary according to the character of the spirits. At times, it entails revenge against persons who wronged them during their present life or in a previous one. Quite often, it is simply the desire to do evil, since because they suffer, they wish to make others suffer too, feeling a kind of pleasure in tormenting and humiliating them. This is what I said before. You may not be a case that started in a previous incarnation or earlier in this life, but just the satisfaction that some spirits they take in tormenting and humiliating other people, and when they find someone who suits their intentions, their purpose, then they won't hesitate. The impatience of their victims also excites them because they then accomplish their objective. The impatience of the victims. I'm highlighting patience here because it is the lack of the virtue of patience. So we see that every inferior virtue, if I can call that, or inferiority that we bring in us may be an open door to establish a kind, I wouldn't say obsession or subjugation, but at least a negative influence from spirits who, for one reason or another, may affect us. We always see that there's something there, a more virtue that has not been developed yet, that is or can be an open door to these spirits. So, however, if their victims are patient, they tire of the game. If their victims become irritated again and show their anger, another one, they do exactly what they want them to do. Sometimes such spirits act out of hatred and jealousy towards whatever is good. That is why they cast their malevolence over honest individuals. One of these spirits attached itself like a true limpet to a good family of our acquaintance, which it did not, however, have the satisfaction of deceiving. So we see that they try. They try. We may be the subject of one or many. They will try. Prayer is very important because will keep us at our best. We are who we are. We shouldn't disguise that to ourselves and just assume who we are. This is me. I'm irritable. I'm impatient, but I'm working hard to change that. We shouldn't just pretend when we go to the Spirit Center, oh, I'm a saint. From here, I'll go straight to, the realm of pure spirits. And no. Let's, admit who we are at the level that we are, and then work from there. Work hard. This is the important thing. It's not pretending to be someone we are not, but actually accepting who we are. Okay, I did so many wrong things in the past, so it led me to who I am today. But from here, I want to move forward. I want to, work hard, and you can just, write down the main aspects you want to change in this life. Oh, I'll make some effort to change this and that, and don't expect that from that day, the following day, you are changed. No, we have to work hard and hard and hard, for many years. But that's how it is. And we start to feel the benefits as soon as we start this process of changing, of working. And prayer is very important. It is the support we need. It is like, I need this treatment. Where will I get that treatment? In a hospital, in a proper clinic. So go to the clinic. There we have all the support you need, and you will start the process of healing, of becoming better, of recovering. And prayer is always the aseptic environment that we need to recover, to get good ideas, to get the influence, to get the patients to feel the support. And sometimes, some days it's natural we are down and we feel the spirits lifting us up. As soon as we pray, we lift our thoughts to them, and sometimes say, oh, I think today is too much for me. Forgive me, but today is too much for me. And then you see that they will, okay, let's take some of the load today. Today you are allowed to take a lighter load on your shoulders. No problem. If you feel stronger, then we'll put it back, because you need to carry it this far. And so when you feel, sort of better, you take that again and, okay, all right, today I'm better. Thanks for yesterday. It was good, but I know I'm not here on holidays. Let's move forward. Okay, let me see where I was. Okay. Okay. When
I would
question,
like to
Yeah.
say only one thing. That then when you pray to the good spirits to help us, it is difficult situation when somebody in the body or at another side try. We fear to. It's like obsession. Think so not good, not good. We pray, and good spirits. We pray from heart, and the good spirit always help, listen, and help us. But they don't remove our mistakes. They don't. They doesn't do our works. We must do that, but they help us to go to the right. They help us. Something happens and a good situation, so we go to the light direction again. So and then another then try to ours to do the bad things to us. They remove.
Yeah.
I think like this direction and then another direction. So they see, oh, I don't, and we can too. I do. We can pray to them, light to them too.
Yeah.
To that person incarnated. Oh, doesn't like me, and they said, what I did there. You in another life, the past life. So I pray to, and I pray to the disincarnated. Some try.
It's very important, Elseli. You mentioned something very important.
Mm.
When we pray in a difficult situation,
Mm.
we should pray for those we consider our enemies as well.
Exactly.
We shouldn't forget that, as I said before, we are not the poor ones in this situation, and the situation is not there just for us to pray and that be taken away from us. No, and we have the obligation almost to sort it out. Yes, and consider the other side as well.
Exactly.
We get to that situation, there is a reason for that. Let's pray for those spirits as well, those who are upsetting us, those who are our enemies as such. They don't need to say, maybe we can become, lovely friends. And then, no, just pray and say, oh, I hope they realize and I realize what the situation is and start to change. Well, fair enough. You're just sending something good to them. It just also came to my mind. It's very common, people who don't know much about Spiritism, or sometimes they even know, something about spiritism, and they come to the spirit center with a problem, and they say, well, I want you to sort it out for me. You know, oh, there's a case of obsession in my family, sort it out for me. Now that you know, take this obsession meeting, and you know, no, it doesn't work that way. The person has to make the effort, the family has to make the effort, and not a job for, you know, the group will give the support, will, you know, provide the means to, you know, make the task easier, but it requires the effort of both sides, you know. And but it's very interesting. Some people just come and say, well, okay, I pray to God, and you know, you sort it out for me. And that's it, it's done. Okay. So when questioned as to the motive for its attack against such good folk, instead of latching onto individuals like itself, it responded, "They do not give me anything to be envious of." So we see that the spirits, when they find fertile land for their intentions, they will stick to them, they'll latch on to them. But when they don't, they'll just go away. They're just, unless, of course, this is a case from past incarnations, there's hatred involved, and it is with that particular person that I have, you know, that I want revenge and so on, then it is a different situation. But in some cases, you know, they just give up. Sometimes it's not that deep hatred. It's just a situation that, oh, I felt I died and I felt betrayed by my friend. It wasn't something really, really serious, but that spirit felt, you know, sort of betrayed, and he was angry and so on. But when he tried to seek revenge, or, you know, he will perhaps change and say, oh, no, perhaps I was wrong, actually. Oh, yeah, now I see that, no, you know, it's not worth the effort to seek revenge and, you know, waste time and so on. But when it's a situation where there is, you know, hatred, heavy with a, you know, capital letters, then it's a difficult situation, because we have to, you know, work on that situation, and sometimes it needs a lot of time, perhaps even more than one incarnation, to sort that out. But this has all different gradations, you know, it's not one case or the other, but, you know, each situation is a situation, and it has its particularities. Others are driven by sheer cowardice, taking advantage of the mental weakness of certain persons whom they know to be incapable of offering any resistance. One of these subjugated a boy of rather low intelligence, responded to us concerning the reason for its choice. "I feel a real need to torment someone. A sensible person would repel me. I have attached myself to a lame brain who cannot resist." So we see that he picked up a victim, you know, out of the capacity of that victim to resist to the influence. Okay? There are obsessing spirits who are not evil, who are even quite good, but are dominated by the pride of false wisdom. They have their opinions and their own theories about the sciences, social economics, morality, religion, and philosophy. They wish to impose their opinion, and to do so, they seek out mediums that are sufficiently credulous to accept them with closed eyes, fascinating them to the degree that they can no longer distinguish between truth and falsehood. These are the most dangerous, for they do not vacillate in their sophistry and can impose the most ridiculous utopian ideas. Since they are fully knowledgeable of the prestige of famous names, they have no scruples about impersonating them and do not even balk before the sacrilege of calling themselves Jesus, the Virgin Mary, or some venerated saint. They try to delude their victims by using pompous language that is more pretentious than profound, full of technical terms and highlighted with grandiose words such as charity and morality. They avoid giving evil counsels because they know that they would be rejected. Hence, those whom they deceive always defend them, affirming, you can see very well that they have said nothing evil. However, for such spirits, morality is merely a passport. It is the least of their concerns. What they want more than anything else is to dominate and impose their ideas, no matter how truly absurd they are. Again, it's never too much to emphasize how important it is to get messages that are received from the Spirit to be analyzed by people, by the colleagues in the mediumship group, by people who we trust, who understand things, and be open to criticism, in inverted commas, to comments that perhaps are not what we expect, because it's important to bear in mind that the message should be from the Spirit, and if it is from the Spirit, the medium shouldn't take criticism to him or her, because then the criticism goes to the author of the message, who should be the Spirit, unless those are my ideas. And at the back of my mind, I know they are more my ideas than ideas from spirits. So it's very important. I'm just an instrument as medium. I'm just an instrument. I should be a neutral instrument. If something is good, it comes from the Spirit. If something is not good, it comes from the Spirit. I'm just the instrument. So don't take personally. Some mediums, because of their sensitivity, they are very touchy. And they take things to them. Oh, that criticism was for me. Oh, they were trying to say this for me. They said, no. Chico Xavier, he was very, very humble. And to me, he's an example of what mediums should be. He considered himself, someone really, really tiny, without any importance in the interchange between the two worlds. Said, I'm just the instrument. If the message is good, it's the Spirit, the author. If the message is not good, the Spirit is the author. I'm just the instrument. I try to be the best instrument possible in the hands of the Spirit. And that's what mediums should be doing. And even when they improve themselves morally, it's not that they can now receive message from pure spirits, from perhaps Jesus himself, or, no, it's just because they can be better instruments for whatever purpose, Oh, will they receive then communication from evil spirits in this obsession work? Yes, someone has to be the instrument of the obsessor, to give the communication, to treat. But if I am a good medium in moral terms, if I bring an honest heart and I really want to help that spirit, the spirit will be enveloped in an atmosphere that is part of the healing process of that spirit and also the situation. And I'm a pure channel where the spirit, he feels that he is welcomed, so he can communicate, he can say what he's feeling deep inside, and then he receives also the counseling from the whoever is dialoguing with that, but also almost like an embrace, a welcoming from the vibrations of the medium, the high moral standard of the medium. So some people, and it's very, very common, they think, some people, that they should always receive message from pure spirit, and perhaps even as they get better as such, the spirits will be of a higher and higher rank. And no, on the contrary, doctors, they don't work with sound, healthy people. They work with those who are really ill. And that's what mediums should do, work with those who are actually in great need. And to do that, our moral standard, our moral, as they say, what's the word? Ascendancy is very important. Because sometimes a few words that we say with love mean more than half an hour of indoctrination of the dialogue, if they are just theory and empty words and so on. Well, we have 5 minutes to go, so I'll stop here. Next week we start here. Let me just write it down. So next Saturday is going to be the
6th.
6th, yes. Wow, 6th of April already. I'll write it down. So 6th of April. And you see, I'm scared how fast time is passing. So every day I woke up and said, oh gosh, we are already, towards the end of March. And then April said, where am I heading? I said, well, I don't know, but let me work harder and harder. Okay, I'll stop sharing now. Okay. Right. Do we have a volunteer for the final prayer? Just a few words of thanks to the benefactors. And any volunteer?
I can do it.
Oh, thank you, Liz. Thank you so much.
So let's elevate our thoughts. And together, let's think about the study that we have had today, and thank for the opportunity, this blessed opportunity for us to learn a little bit more about mediumship, our responsibilities as mediums that we all are. And let's say thank you to God for encouraging us forward in our path to become better mediums. And may He continue to encourage us to remain in this path of study, self-reflection, and good effort to do charity wherever we are. Amen.
Indeed. Thank you very much indeed. And since we are close to Easter tomorrow, let's remember the example of Jesus, what He did, and the examples that He gave us, that, whatever materials are in our way, the way of our spiritual development, let's make the right choice and choose what is good for our spirits and not what is good for our body and physical life, because the physical life will end, but the spirit will survive. Have a nice Easter, everyone. May the spirit of Easter be with you all. See you all next week. Yeah, God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, bye-bye.